right, you're recording video and audio?
Yes.
And not desktop audio?
No.
No, you are recording desktop audio, or
yes.
no, you're not recording desktop audio?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. So, dude, the results are in. We have a show now.
Let's go.
Yeah, we have a podcast. It's you've been calling it something. You've added branding to us that the team is curious about.
I mean, the one thing is that it's a good acronym.
Yeah, you've been calling it the... Oh, wait, how do you pronounce it?
Whammo.
Oh, I've been pronouncing it Waymo. I thought you were a big fan of those driverless cars. I don't know if you've seen the Waymos with, like, the blue lights on top spinning around.
I like Whammo, like a
Whammo! Yeah,
it's great.
Isn't that
Because
what...
a lot of times people think of the title before they think of what the acronym is going to be. And then it backfires. Like, that's what happened to the British Broadcasting Company. So we gotta be very careful about
the BBC is a good acronym. Are you serious right now? So what did you do differently between... I can't believe it's been a week since we last recorded. It feels like it's been a month. You just woke up.
Yeah.
And for the audience's knowledge, it is 4:39 p.m. Do you want to explain yourself?
I work a very late shift. I get home at like 5 a.m.
Now, do you know how many hours are between 5 a.m. and now?
Well, I gotta cook dinner. I gotta watch a couple movies, you know.
A couple movies? What 2 movies did you watch?
By a couple movies, I mean 6 episodes of Impractical Jokers, but it's basically the same thing.
I just watched... We watched different... We both watched high art. I watched Godzilla -1 and K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. So I got a little bit of culture in. You got your white people culture in, I think is what that is called. Did you take notes this week or no?
I started taking notes.
Okay.
The only note that I have written down is plumber.
Okay.
And then I think I was supposed to add more, and I never did. So my one note just says the plumber.
So when you said you took notes, you meant you took note.
I took a note.
You took note. Okay, the singular note. Okay, well then I guess we better... Should we save that story for later since that's all you've got? Or do we just want to get it out of the way?
I suppose. Plus, I was going to ask, how did the emails go?
Yeah, do we want to start with the hotline?
People were asking me what they weren't allowed to send, and I'm like, that should be pretty common sense. Don't send son dick pics.
Yeah, say it's
please.
Also an email, so it's like not the end of the world if they overstep. I'm not contractually obligated to read it on you, which I think some people think I am based off the emails. There's a lot of like, you have to say this on the podcast now.
You're like, I really don't want to read this, but they emailed it, so I have
very
to.
much will just, do whatever you want, watch the podcast and be like, oh, that's what makes it to air. But yeah, we can open with that, but stick around if you want to learn about the plumber story. Once again, if you want to send in your own question, your own what are my options question or hypothetical, send it to treyneedsmoney2015@gmail.com. That's on your screen, and I just said it, you idiot. So, first one, the first inaugural question. Hi there, Teal and Son. I mean Kyle and Trey. I have a predicament. I am madly in love with someone very dear to me, and have been in a relationship with them for, at the time of writing this email, 5 months. The issue comes with the fact that we are multiple thousands of kilometers away from each other, so it's very hard to be all lovey-dovey. So I've come to ask, what are my options in dealing with a long-distance relationship? Thanks, Akio:3. So, figure that one out, genius.
Alright, so first things first, asking romance advice is...
Are we gonna immediately shut that down, episode 2? Just an entire genre of question.
I was expecting, what do you like better, Taco Bell or Burger King? And I was gonna rate the pro and cons, but romance, ooh.
How is that a what are my options question? Do you like Taco Bell or Burger King? What are my options?
Burger King, those are the options.
So, to start with, let's try and get some facts in here. 5 months It's long distance. They don't put here if they've met in person before, which would certainly change things. Many thousands of kilometers. 5 kilometers implies not American. So already I'm aloof. I don't know what people outside the U.S.
I know where he lives. I can dox him.
Oh, okay.
Canadian.
Oh, Canada. Now that's different because I was being like American. Like if I had been dating a honey or a fella for 5 months, I lived in New York, they lived in California. You just drive there. But in Canada, aren't they the land of a million lakes?
Yeah, and they got like a big border where like, America's got the borders where you're not allowed in.
Yeah, Justin Trudeau's up there in his wacky costumes. Just yeah, sorry, Akil. We are taking your question seriously, but Teal has allergies to the women behind him, evidently. So what would you do? You live, let's say, yeah, the New York to California metaphor. Let's just put it that 5 months. What's happening?
I mean, an airplane ticket, that's only $300 a week.
You would fly weekly for a person that you've been seeing virtually for 5 months?
I'm sure there's a train. Do trains still exist?
In Canada, maybe. I don't know if can trains work in the cold. I feel like that's the point. My thing is, you're on the right track. They had to, like, the question isn't how do I be lovey-dovey virtually, it's get out there. Like, if this is, you're like, how do I make this lovey-dovey? It's been 5 months. This is important. Go.
You need at least one time of being trapped in a room for 5 hours with nothing to do.
Because if you're going to sit here for a year, how do I virtually show this person I love them? And then you interact physically in person and they like have the cheese touch, you can't really go back on that. So like sooner rather than later, you need to start putting in IRL investment time. And maybe this is somebody, I don't know how old they are. I'm assuming they're an adult. Otherwise, if they're a child, then they can't. What are you looking at me like that for?
If they're a child, there's other things. There's other problems.
What are the other problems?
The child.
A child can't have a relationship?
Is the other person a child? Do we know?
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming they're either both children or both adults. That's not. I wasn't asking if the person they were in love with was a child. I was asking if the email writer was an adult or a child.
If you're both 8 years old and you're in a long distance relationship, then you're just doing my girlfriend goes to another school. You don't know her.
And that's also, yeah, that's what, I mean, I did one long distance relationship, but for me it was, she lived 40 miles away, and so every weekend I would just drive over there, we'd go to each other's school dances, so like, there was clearly, that was how you were lovey-dovey. You would text and you'd be like, when I get there, I'm going to smooch you so hard, you got to have that, it's all about the anticipation, that's how you be lovey-dovey. You do get to do all this planning and looking forward to this, so you just got to be like, hey, I'm about to come over, bust down your door. I can't wait. Maybe once a month. I mean, that is a lot of kilometers, but I mean, again, that's what you gotta weigh. If they're worth it, then they're worth the travel time.
Call her, be romantic, quit your job, leave your family, go get a house like right next door. And if it doesn't work out, then you're American now, so that's cool. So
have you ever done a long distance relationship? Have you ever done the my girlfriend goes to a different school thing?
Like one city over, like 8 minutes.
Oh, okay. And see,
That's long distance for me. I didn't have a car.
I also don't super get the long distance thing. I get when people are close and then they go apart in their long distance. I don't know if that's the case here, but I do know a lot of these like youths of America and Canada also are like, they're starting far apart because they're virtual e-dating, and I don't know how to comprehend or grasp that dynamic, because there's people near you that probably have the same qualities. Not to immediately say break up, but why are you immediately starting with a barrier?
If a smoke show 11 out of 10 chick shows interest in me, but she's from Norway, I'm gonna keep it going as long as I can till something goes out.
So you think there's nobody in a 300-mile radius that could be the same 11 or 10 that shows interest in you?
I'm in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. I know the names of everybody within the 6-mile radius of me. That's why date one, you gotta ask, are you racist? You just gotta get it all out of the way right away.
These days, yeah, I once made it to a 4th date, and then she started talking about Hillary Clinton, and I was like, this Rob Zombie movie isn't that good. I'm gonna go now, even though we were at my house. So, Teal's advice, I mean, and my advice is, like, visit them. Because the other thing is, it could sound, douchey, but, like, the physical just as important as whatever you have virtual. I mean, I guess there's 7 billion people.
They might be stinky.
They might be stinky.
They might be really stinky.
And it's okay. Like it's, people think it's weird to be a little superficial about that kind of stuff. It's not. It's okay. You've got 8 billion choices. You can be slightly picky if you want to. There's nothing weird about that. Actually, speaking of marriage, today is my 1-year, 1-day anniversary. My wife texted me this morning and said, we both forgot our anniversary yesterday. It is our first major marriage anniversary, and we both forgot it. So honestly, you shouldn't listen to me or Teal, especially me. And so as soon as this recording's done, I have to take her on a 1-year, 1-day anniversary date, and I don't know what that looks like yet.
I was about to say, you're like, sorry I forgot, honey, but today's the podcast day, so we gotta wait till 1 year and 2 days.
No, yeah, I texted her and I was like, don't worry though, as soon as you get home from work at 5 o'clock, we'll go on a pretty date night. And I texted her 30 minutes ago and went, Teal still hasn't shown up. I'll see you at 7. So at 7 o'clock, I'll celebrate my 1-year, 1-day wedding anniversary. Do you think we answered that question at all?
I think he'll yell at me later.
Yeah. Ultimately, anticipation. Talk about when you'll see each other and actually plan for that on a semi-regular basis. That is, yeah. Boom. Advice given. Okay. Are you ready for another one?
Yeah, hit me.
Okay. I think we'll do like 2 or 3 of these an episode, but we'll see. One question I would like to see Trey and Teal answer is, would you rather have unlimited bacon but no games, or games unlimited games but no games? On a more serious topic, I would like to see discussed is, if you wanted to move to any country in the EU, which one would you move to? And you could do a top 3 as your options. Thank you both for being funny content creators, especially Teal, since I've been watching him since middle school COVID, and now I'm a freshman in college. So please share my gratitude to Teal. Sincerely, Ishkoman.
I know that person.
You just, wow. They're big fans of you, apparently. I'm just also on the podcast.
Yeah, I'll see you.
So my first question to you we need to know our options to pick our favorite EU countries. What's the EU, Teal?
All of Europe?
You think all of Europe's in the EU?
Because it would be kind of a dick move if, like, they just, like, didn't let, like, France in. Like, they just had certain Europe countries that they're like,
Well, I mean, if it's the European Union and it's all the countries, why wouldn't they just call it Europe? I think yeah, like Scotland and Northern Ireland specifically aren't in it. If I just start, I don't think Turkey's in the
Liechtenstein?
EU. Liechtenstein's area, is it a country or is it a territory?
Luxembourg.
We're 2 emails in and we're learning that we have no world knowledge outside of pooping and plumbers. Okay, I think I'm just gonna think of all of Europe, because I don't think I'm gonna say any of the outliers, like Northern Ireland. Probably, I don't know. Like, what determines where you go? Is it the women? Is it the accents? Is it the food?
The food.
The food? Oh, if it's the food, then not Europe, right? Is there one European country that makes bomb food?
Isn't like Dutchland where they do all the chocolate? Where's all the chocolate come from?
Switzerland.
You're thinking
Switzerland makes Switzerland's number 1 because they've got the mountains, the Alps. Those are the same thing. They've got the candies and the chocolates, the army knives, the hospitals, the
I just want to be a chubby little boy in overalls and big boots walking through Switzerland, just going to candy stores the rest of my life.
You're the Veruca Salt of Switzerland. You're turning violet. We walk in and it's the Wonka factory of countries. You're like, I don't know, Guten Tag, welcome to our chocolate factory. And you're like, thanks. Happy to be here. Switzerland, I think, is what we both agree on. I think outside of that, probably Italy. Italy's awesome. My dad used to live there. It's got the water roads. It's got a pretty language. They pronounce it Italia instead of Italy, which is like really pretty. The women are great. The accent is cool. And then I think number 3, lasagna. And I think number 3, probably Spain. What are your top 3?
Switzerland. And what other countries are there?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's I think like 37-ish European countries.
I don't want to be British.
You don't want to be British?
I'll just take anything but British.
Anything but British. So we're gonna give you Greece, Romania, and Switzerland.
Like if I witnessed a murder and was in the witness protection and they're like, we have to send you to Europe, where do you want to go? And I would just literally tell them anywhere but Britain.
Yeah, you put a big circle around Britain and you're like, not there.
Don't make me British.
So there's also something interesting here. We covered some YouTube comments and reactions last week, but we have Spotify comments now. Did you know there's Spotify comments?
I did not.
It is a feature. We also are a 5-star podcast on Spotify, so we're actually higher rated than Joe Rogan right now, because we only have 2 5-star reviews. So if we could just keep getting 5-star reviews, that'd be really cool. So Tilly said, hi Trey and hi Teal. Hearing you and Teal say you had a graduating class of 40 is insane to me. My class was 600 people and I thought that was small. Also, Trey, your high school reunion sounds like it was a family reunion. Yeah, 600 people. I get why there's bullying. Like, there's no way they're all cool people.
So some deserve to be bullies. I thought you were going to say it wasn't noticeable, but you're like 600, some of those kids really deserve to be bullied.
Well, when you're in a class of 40, I was in a class of 90, it's easy to be like, we should all just kind of agree to be at the same level. But with 600, it takes one guy to start shoving down. And you don't want to be the guy left holding the bag at the bottom of shit heap high school. You don't want to be the most bullied. So you have to find somebody to look down upon before the dominoes have all fallen. That's why I think bullying's a thing. That's too big. But with 90 people, you're like, dude, I was at your barbecue last week. You can't bully me.
God, it's like when literally half the kids were girls, it's like you only had so many options. 600, that's like...
Exactly.
Lord.
I say, yeah, that was my issue. Was I did the math. That was how I found wife on Tinder. Was I had to graduate. There were 90 people in my hometown that were my age. 45 of those were men. Which, sorry, not into the penis right now. And then of those 45, 25 of those women were in a relationship. So that leaves 20. Of those 20, 10 of them are my cousin, which leaves 10. 5 of them are less than desirable. So that leaves 5, and I had dated 5 of them and failed. So
I love how you can sign up for a dating website just to say I'm in a relationship just for the statistics.
And so I had to get on Tinder eventually, and wife had just moved from Oregon, and I was like, I gotta scoop this one up. So that was the math would have been worse for you because you had even less people. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, you had, oh boy.
We lived in the area that was famous for getting like the record-breaking biggest tornadoes every year. So it was just like the 40 families that like
refused. They were like, not this year, and then it was that year, and then it just keeps having.
Prime real estate that you might not have a year from now, but if you don't get hit, it all works out pretty good.
Every time I've been hit by a natural disaster, I've moved. Mississippi, we moved from there just before Katrina. We moved from Oklahoma right after that. I think it was the 99 Moore, Oklahoma F5 tornado that just obliterated the face of the earth. And we were like, let's leave this horse shit. Yeah, no, it's not good. It tore the roof off of the trailer I lived in at the time, which I mean isn't that bad comparatively, but not
if you
good.
if you had to deal with the absolute worst type of storm every year, but you can only pick one, which would it be? You got hurricane, tornado, blizzard, earthquake,
Oh, isn't earthquake
volcano.
like just be outside and you're fine? Like how
No,
does
I
an
think
earthquake hurt
earthquake's
you?
the worst one.
How?
Like,
What is it gonna do? Oh no, I'm vibrating something normal
Exactly!
objects do.
everything shakes really hard.
Right. So we'll just lay down and vibe out for a second. I bet do you think the Mormons look forward to the earthquakes so they don't have to get a soaker?
Okay, all right, that's.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I do. They're like, this is a big
I
one.
bet they're
Get
like,
in bed.
fuck yeah, we don't gotta call Steve over today. The earth is taking care of this part.
Like, oh, it was just a little earthquake.
There's gotta be at least one like Mormon couple that's like, finally, the earth, like they're just waiting every day in position, waiting for the bed to just move.
It's. Oh, I do think earthquake is probably the worst.
Right. But based on where we live,
Yeah,
we'll
but
be fine.
I would say probably the best would probably be blizzard. It would be like 20 feet of snow and like freezing cold, and you couldn't leave your house for a month. But like,
So this is us romanticizing what a blizzard is. I mean, I guess you're from like Wisconsin. Have you been in a blizzard before?
yes.
Oh,
Multiple.
okay. I was gonna say we've seen though what like southern like Texas houses happen to them the way they're built when a blizzard happens, and it's just you just kind of die. Like you
Yeah,
either stay
oh.
inside and flood and freeze, or you go outside and you freeze. There's no escape from a true blizzard.
Yeah, everybody up north, they're prepared. Down
Yeah.
here, it's like you get like 1 inch of snow, and like everybody's like driving off bridges and crashing because they don't know how to adjust.
You
to it.
say that, but wait till a tornado hits Wisconsin. They'll look just as dumb. They'll be like, "What the fuck? The flying cheese curd monster!" Oh my lord, I had a heck of a week. So I was really mean this week on accident. You ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever just misread a situation and then you commit and then you realize you're an idiot?
Yeah,
So
constantly.
first instance I can think of this was it was the first month me and my wife were together, and we went to a like double date with her parents at a Golden Corral, a buffet style
Romantic.
restaurant. A buffet style restaurant for those that don't know. And wife went up to go get more food, and I'm sitting there, and our plates are piling up, and our waiter isn't picking them up from our table. We just keep buffeting. The plates are piling up, and I noticed the table to my left is empty and has a bunch of plates, and the people that were there have clearly left. So I look at her parents, and I want to establish myself as a problem solver. So I take all of our plates, and I put them on the unused table over there. And then I sit down, and the parents are staring at me, and I'm like, "You're welcome." And then the waiter comes up and he goes, "Excuse me, sir, would you not put your plates on other people's tables while they're eating?" And I look to my left, and the whole family is back at the table eating around me, and I wanted to die in that moment. It hurt me so bad.
Oh,
Wife came back to the table and she's like, why is it so quiet over here? And I was like, I don't want to talk about it. We're just this is the worst. And that was the first time I had met her parents. It was the worst first impression of all time. So to Akio, maybe don't meet them in real life, because you might have a terrible moment like that. And so
Ooh.
I had another one of those recently where, so you have a car, you're an adult, you're driving and it's raining, so your headlights should be on. Yeah. If you can't see the sun, your headlights should be on. If it's storming, it's raining, because like gray vehicles look invisible without headlights whenever it's raining. And so what I do, and what everyone does, is most people forget. So you'll flash your brights at them just for half a second, and then they turn their lights on. It happens to me. I go, "Oh, thanks, buddy." I turn my lights on. I do it to other people. So I'm door dashing the other day for 12 hours, and it's monsoon season, and nobody has their lights on. I don't know what's happening this year, but nobody has a headlight. I can't see shit. And so I'm like, flashing, like 10 cars in a row. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And they're not turning their lights on afterwards. And so I feel insane. I'm like, I'm doing what we're supposed to do. I'm reminding you, and you're not putting your lights on. So for 2 hours, I'm flapping. After 2 hours, I start flipping. And at the last second, if they don't turn their lights on, I flip them off. Because I'm like, you're a piece of shit. I'm trying to help you. And so I start flipping. I flip them off. I flip them. I do this for 2 more hours. Okay? Then I deliver to this hotel. I pull in, and I go, okay, now that I'm out of the car, and I'm actually going to turn it off for the first 4 hours, let's turn the lights off. My headlights were off the entire time. So I'm just driving past people and flipping them off with... Because they're not seeing my brights. They're seeing my headlights are also off, and I'm just flipping them off in the middle of a storm that they're trying to drive through. And I felt like the biggest piece of shit. Because up till this point, I'm like, I'm curing the world. I'm making it a better place. When in reality, I was making it such a negative place. So the advice from that story is,
if I was driving through a storm and a random person flipped me off, I would think about it for the entire day. I would spend the entire day.
I must have flipped off 35 people before I realized how much of a fucking moron I was. I'm just, because my blood, like, I was having the worst day ever. I'm like, what is happening? I went, oh, I'm the asshole. I'm r/I'm the asshole. I felt so bad. So you had a plumber issue?
Yeah. Poop game's too strong.
Poop game's too strong? So is your poop clogging it or the toilet paper clogging it?
We don't know. We went into the back and we did literally 100 feet of poop grabber and still can't unblock. So there is something
deep in the pipes.
There's a full-blown dead body or roots or something.
Is there anything weird you may have flushed? Like, you're not flushing wet wipes, are you? Don't.
Some do say flushable.
Right. And now, I know that's your defense. Have you actually read the package that you use to see if they are flushable?
They weren't flushable.
They were not flushable. Okay, so that's the problem. That's the problem. Is there anything else you may have flushed down this toilet that you shouldn't have?
More of those. A lot of those.
That would explain why this is now an issue. Do the other people you're living with use wet wipes, or are you the only wet wipe user?
Both.
Okay, that's good. I was worried that you had moved in and then used wet wipes and immediately fucked up the plumbing.
Ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, maybe that's the issue, is that 2 of you are now flushing wet wipes and just clogging the system.
I still do feel proud that when we went to Bryant's, immediately clogged his toilet. The guy has 3 bathrooms and does not own a single plunger. We had to DoorDash get delivered a plunger in the middle of the night. And because of me.
I gotta defend you here, because you got a lot of flack for that. It's more insane to not own a plunger for your 3 toilets than it is to clog a toilet. That is a normal thing that's going to happen. I'm with you there. Everyone was dogging. I think we ended up DoorDashing 3 different plungers, and Bryant went out to get a plunger. Because it was night 1. You were the first person to use the toilet, and you clogged the toilet, and we immediately had a crisis.
I did 3 separate flushes too, because I thought to myself, I really don't want to clog a stranger's bathroom and have to get the plunger. And then on flush 3, it clogs. And then have to ask for the plunger, and then for him to be like, oh, I don't own one. And I'm like, what do you mean?
And they've lived there.
Have you never in your life...
They've lived there for 3 clogged years toilet. Or something like that, I think.
3 years!
Yeah. They gotta shit more. They need more fiber. They're the weirdos.
More fiber.
Yeah, Bryant and his very sweet wife aren't shitting enough. It's a real health hazard. I won't be sending Bryant this episode of the podcast.
The second somebody arrives and takes a normal-sized dump, the toilet just freaks out.
I don't know that you had a normal... I can't verify whether or not you had a normal-sized dump. Neither can you, but I mean, maybe it was. God, God, just no plunger, no sun. Because, again, yeah, I clogged my toilet twice today, which is an anomaly, and I shouldn't. If I'm at somebody else's house, yeah, same as you. I flush constantly. Probably too much. The worst is when people don't understand the fan system, and they're like, my poop doesn't stink. And it's like, the fan so I don't have to hear you shit from out here. It's a noise blocker and a smell blocker. It should. I almost always turn on the fan if I'm in the bathroom. I don't want anyone knowing that I'm doing anything in there resembling my bowels.
I just blast loud music on my phone.
Oh, I don't. Okay. If
you see somebody go into the bathroom and then just death metal starts playing, you're just like, all right, they're locking in.
I was actually, I swear to God, right before this, Teal was running like 3 hours late, and when he finally messaged me, I said, give me 2 minutes. And that was because I was pooping in the bathroom right there, and I was blasting K-pop Demon Hunter's soundtrack because it's just been stuck in my head constantly. And I went, oh boy, I need to hurry up here. I'm just bringing down the value of K-pop, I think.
Now, I have a question for you, and I really don't want this podcast to just have a pooping segment every week.
No, yeah, me either.
It's starting to look that way. But I've told this to everybody, and people have told me it has changed their lives. Have you ever taken a poop and then basically stepped up your game by taking off your shirt?
Yeah, that's everybody.
Finishing the poop.
No, so here's the thing. If I'm pooping, so like if I'm in public, my pants aren't going below my knees.
If you're in a public restroom, don't take off your shirt.
Yeah, I am locked down. Then I'm at a friend's house, I might pull my shirt up like past my belly. Then I'm at home, shirt off, guaranteed. I don't care how big or small the poop is. I'm not gonna poop with a shirt on at my own home. That's crazy. Shirts flying off.
I've had people tell me, they're like, okay, my next poop, I'm gonna take my shirt off and just to see, and then they've come back to me and they're like, it was a life-changing, it was a whole different experience. It's like my body like powered up in a way that it never has before.
Right. So is the shirt the first thing that comes off for you, or the last thing that comes off for you?
Not always. It's just like if it's like a rough one or a big one, you're like.
For me, before I take the shirt off, I Winnie the Pooh it. I completely take the pants and underwear off.
What?
Yeah, because you gotta spread, like, if it's that poop, not to be the poop podcast guy of the poop podcast duo, but like, yeah, you, like, what if you're wearing jeans? Because jeans, if you kind of pull down, you don't have a lot of mobility. When jeans are at your knees, you can't move. You're locked in. So I guess you don't wear a lot of pants. I don't think
leaning back and going spread eagle is going to enhance the poop in any way.
You can't lean back. The toilet seat is there. What do you mean lean back? I'm hunched forward. I'm getting a bend in my spine. And then I'm taking off my pants and underwear. And then if I really need to, I take the shirt off because I'm sweating. I've never taken my socks off though. So I'm usually
maybe
once
that's
a year.
The final form.
Yeah, once a year I'm just sweat shitting with my socks on. Title of my sex tape. Sweat shitting with the socks on. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, shirt off. I get that. That's it's sort of out of order for me. That's usually level 3, but for you it's level 1 and the final level. Do you take off your glasses when you go poop?
Yes.
Oh, where do they go? Do they sit on the bathroom counter, or do you take them off before you go in there? And
right on the counter next to me.
Oh, so they may as well just be on your face in the bathroom because the poop germs are everywhere. Have you seen that graphic where it shows like, so when you flush your toilet, is the seat down or up?
Down.
Oh, so, wait. Then how do you not see your poop? Wait, hold on. Not to go back to last week. So you poop on the toilet. You get off the toilet, you turn around, you close the seat, you flush.
Oh, no, I don't close the seat. That would be weird.
Then why did you...
I thought you meant, like, the sitting on seat.
No, of course you... Yeah, that would be insane if you're just raw dogging the bare rim without the seat.
I'm just hunched over. I never touched the seat.
So if you flush the toilet without the seat covered down, It basically puts the poop all over your walls and on your toothbrush and on your glasses, on your everything.
Is that what that's for? You're supposed to close the lid
that's
every
not what
time
it's
you
for.
flush?
It just looks prettier. But if you, so like when COVID came out and they had those like cool graphics of where the germs went, they have that of a toilet flushing. I'll put the graphic up here, Teal. You could look it up later. But it's just like a monsoon of invisible poop particles spreading. That's why a lot of people don't keep their toothbrush in their bathroom these days, now that they know that. Because otherwise you just brush it and poop on your teeth. So you need to be closing the seat, which means you're going to have to see your poop at some point, buddy, and that's okay.
All right, future idea for the video podcast. There needs to be like a poop timestamp.
We made it pretty far into this episode before bringing up poop. I'm pretty proud of us.
Poop discussion starts at to skip poop. Click here. Just a chunk of every podcast.
Or there's actually, I would hate to see, because on YouTube it shows which minutes of the video are the most watched. I'd hate to see a huge mountain there during the poop discussion. Like, they're exclusively using timestamps. Like, I gotta know how to poop this week.
I gotta know how this week's poop went.
I gotta figure out how to poop. God, so another thing that I wanted to mention. Oh my god, my notes aren't loading. This is embarrassing. Teal, Phil. Oh, no, I got it. Okay. Do you have any irrational fears?
Water.
In what, like drowning, or like the ocean, or
being underwater?
Like even like a basic swimming pool, like 5 feet
yes.
deep. Why do you fear being underwater?
Just like the second I'm underwater, it's like super fight or flight. Even if I'm in no danger, just being submerged.
So this is bad.
I remember I learned to swim. It was one of those like where you bring like a 5-year-old and it's a bunch of 5-year-olds and it's a lifeguard. And instead of like having kids doggy pile in the shallow end, this lifeguard's idea was he took kids to the top of the diving board and he would throw them in the deep end.
That's how you learn.
Apparently that's how you learn.
Yeah, that's how most people learn to swim.
He did that to me 4 times and I just sank like a rock.
4 times to throw a child into the deep end.
I was thrown into the deep end 4 times, just sank. Had to be dragged out. And he's like, let's try that again. Dude. And I'm like, attempt number 4. He's like, I don't think you're getting it.
Yeah, you're getting more and more brain damage by all the water fucking in your lungs.
I'm just freaking out.
Dude, it's a good thing you didn't live in Roman times. They would have thrown you in the baby pit. You know, where they're just like, all the others are like, after twice you don't swim in the deep end, they're like, all right, kick him into the baby pit at this point. He's not going to make it. We fear the elements. We could never be the Avatar because you fear water. I fear electricity.
Rocks. Oh, electricity.
You thought I do not fear rocks. That would be bad. My wife is an aspiring geologist, so that'd be a really fucking weird fear to have here. But no, I fear electricity, and not in the normal way, but I fear most things. I fear imminent death more than I fear electricity. So like, if it can explode, like propane tanks, electrical wires, anything that I can't fight back, because like if you touch one bad wire, you're dead. Or you.
I was gonna say because the whole thing with electricity is it's instant.
Yeah.
It's like fire, drowning. It's like you're like, uh-oh. Electricity, it's like you mess up and you just
cease to exist.
Done.
Yeah.
You're just done.
Like with even flying, I can convince myself like I could storm the cabin and fly the plane, I guess, if I really needed to. I could drive my car away from that car wreck. But like electricity, propane tanks, water heaters, I fear them. And so I make my very cool wife handle those things. So our AC wouldn't turn off, and it was burning out. And so I opened the breaker box, and then I stared at it for an hour, trying to tell myself that touching the breaker box wouldn't kill me. And then wife got home, and I went, will you turn off the breaker box for me? And then she did, because she's very nice. But yeah, like even light bulbs. So like you ever go to change a light bulb that's been dead for a while, and you don't know if the switch is set to on or off, and you're panicking as you're screwing it in that the power's already on and it's gonna explode?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. So there's 2 of us.
I'm afraid of just even a little zap.
Yeah, because it's not fun.
It's scary.
People do the little like joke like zappers in their hands, and I want to kill those people. It's not funny. Like they'll be laughing at each other, and then they'll do it to me, and I'm like, I'm your firstborn is mine. First of all, we're not doing that again. Like, isn't that the worst when the homies are being really funny, and then you take it too seriously, and you go, "Ooh, that was a weird look for me. Didn't care for that." That's me with electricity. Like, when one of the friends gets a taser for the first time, and they're like, let's tase each other, and I go, no, we're not going to do that. It's not going to be fun. Stop. We need an adult, you idiot.
The one friend who buys a taser, it's like, the guys are going to love this.
Have you never been in that? I've been in 8 different guy groups where they get one guy gets a taser, and then everyone gets tased.
I have not been in a single friend group that has brought a taser to the event. No.
That's crazy.
And I'm sorry you've been through 7 of those.
There's just always some
like
white guy with a taser.
On the 6th friend group that brings a taser, I'd be like, what kind of friends am I hanging out with?
Maybe I'm the problem, yeah. I think next Goofy Guy gathering, I'll bring the taser, so that way I can't be thrown off, and then we all get tased. Oh, God. So, I also did another stupid... So it's sort of the same thing as blinking, where you do before you think, and you think you're a genius, so... You swatted a fly, right? You see a fly, you swat at it. It's like the Joker. You never know what you do if you actually caught one, but you try. And then that one day you actually nail it, you just have bug guts and blood all over your hands.
Yeah.
I was sitting in my car, and this mosquito was bothering me, and I'm just flailing at it, and then it lands right on my steering wheel staring at me. And I go, finally, this is my moment. And I swat it, and there was blood on my windshield, and on my shirt, and on my hands, and I wanted to throw
mosquitoes,
up.
they're just like...
They're exclusively like blood balloons. And so I sprinted inside, like, Germ-X myself real good, because I was like, I don't know what other people's blood.
That's like 30 other people's blood.
Yeah, it was so much, like, it was a little guy, and so I didn't even second guess it, but there was blood everywhere. So now in the RAV where we filmed the IRL stream, there's now pickles, meat mountain, and blood. So it's become the content vehicle at this point. It's filthy.
I was gonna ask you, have you ever nearly been murdered?
Yes. Do you want to go first? I feel like you have a story. I don't want to steal your thunder here.
I do have a story because I remembered it because I was telling it to coworkers, and I'm like, I could bring it up.
So last week you told the coworkers your foot were bleeding, waking face. This week you tell the coworkers I was almost murdered.
Yes.
You're like the John McAfee of your workplace. I don't know if you know who John McAfee is, but you're just that eccentric guy where you're like, what if we went to the Maldives for the weekend? And they're like, relax. So how did you almost get murdered?
It was a story of how I almost got murdered, because I look back and I'm like, wow, that was dumb. But like at the moment it seemed to make sense. It was like the first little house I had when I had a roommate. And so we had to put money orders in our mailbox to pay for the rent. So I had the money order in there. It was like $800. And then my landlord tells me like 3 days after, never got the money order. Where is it? And I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'll look it up because it's all tracked. And so I go in, we look it up based on like the thing on my copy. And it has a random woman's name and an address. And I'm like, oh, I better go get my money back. I'll just go to that address and ask for it.
No police. You're just going to go to a thief and request
no
it
police.
back.
I figured I would go and ask, and hopefully they would be like, oh, you got me. Foiled again. Here you go. Because in my head, that's just how it goes. Like, they would just be so embarrassed they would give me my money back.
I've done that exact same thing where somebody hacked my PayPal, and so I emailed the hacker and I said, hey, that's my last $20. Can you hack somebody else? I don't want to report you or anything because I bet you need the money too real bad. And then he went, yeah, sorry about that. Here's your account back. And he actually just let me have my PayPal back. That's my, yeah, it's super secure now. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. I wanted to judge you, but I've done the exact same thing and it worked.
And he's
He
like,
felt
oh,
real bad
sorry,
for
G.
you.
Thought you had a little bit more money than that. And I went, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Coolest hacker I've ever met.
So I was stupid. I didn't tell the police. I don't think I even told anybody I was going. It wasn't like a, if I don't come back, call the police. I'm just like on my way home from Taco Bell. I stop by the address and I go up to the door and I knock on the door. And, ooh, I could have just been like straight up stabbed or shot right there in the moment. But this really, really old lady opens the door. Sweet, sweet old lady. She answers the door and she's like, hello, how can I help you? And I show her the thing. I'm like, this name took my money and they labeled this address. She's like, oh, that's my granddaughter. She's always getting into trouble. She put down my address instead of her address. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, oh, I think she's in jail right now. And I'm like, oh, how unfortunate. What a goof. And then she invited me in for like, I think she was like baking something, like pie or cookies. I just like the idea that old ladies are always baking.
No, yeah, they'd be baking.
I don't think I went inside.
You don't
if I
think
did,
you went inside?
I don't think I did, because if I did, the granddaughter probably would have been in there and would have jumped my ass.
Yeah.
Or
you just don't remember it. You may have gotten poisoned or like roofied, and you left, and you're like, guess I didn't go in there. That was weird.
I went inside and ate 3 pies and then got brain wiped.
Yeah, I went in, and then I woke up feeling full. And I'm not sure why.
But then and then I left, and I never went to the police. It just never worked out. So I think I just thought, if she's already in jail, I don't need to get her in more trouble.
So did you just pay double rent, or the landlord let it slide?
I think I just paid again.
Instead of just filing a report?
That's a lot of work.
It's not that much work as somebody that's filed a report before. It's very limited amounts of work.
Is I have literal paper evidence.
Yeah,
that would have been the easiest trial ever.
The mother is saying, "Yep, she did it all right." Like
she did it. She's in jail right now.
Like you have everything you need.
I'm like, ooh, this is a hard case.
My almost being murdered was 2015, 2016, the first year of Pokemon Go. And every day after work, I would go outside and I would walk like 10 miles playing Pokemon Go with my girlfriend at the time. And there was one summer night where she was like, hey, I'm not down to walk that long. And it's like 8:30 p.m. And I go, okay, you go ahead home. I'm going to take another lap around town. And then I go so far, and then it's 10:30, it's 11 p.m. I'm walking alone just down the street playing Pokemon Go. And I look up, and under the only lamppost, like for 5 blocks, is a man in like a hoodie and like has his hands deep in his pockets. And he starts walking towards me, like through the street, like not on the sidewalk, like he's making a perfect path towards me, walking. And I go, shit, my house is on the other side of him. And do you have the thing where you don't want to make a scene even though you might be in imminent danger? Like you don't want to be the idiot that cries wolf? I was having that. I was
look like a dork.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to be upset that I'm about to be murdered. I look like a pussy. And so I immediately just start walking towards him. I'm like, surely he's not going to kill me. That doesn't actually happen. And he's getting closer, and he's messing with something in his pocket. And I'm next to a house, and I just start walking up the stairs like I live there. And right as I hit the first step, the people that live there pull in. And they come out, and they look at me, and they look at him, and they go, oh, you guys just playing out here? That's fine. And I look, and the guy's sprinting away. The guy is sprinting away. Oh, my God. Away. And again, I should have said something, and I went, well, that solved itself. So then I kept walking home. And I texted my mom about it. I gave her the description, and she went, no way. He robbed my gas station just now. She had pulled the footage. The man that was 5 feet from me 2 hours later robbed her gas station after hours.
You were going to get mugged.
I was going to get mugged.
Mugged and murdered.
And so my mom's like, you need to file a police report. So I call the police, and I go, hey, it's 11 o'clock. I'm walking around. I almost got mugged. My mom saw him at the gas station that she works at, saw him in the footage, Robin. And he goes, all right. Now, I do have one question. I go, what? And he goes, were you by chance playing Pokemon Go? Like, this is a real problem. People aren't used to walking and being... And I went, yeah. And he goes, probably shouldn't play that late then, huh? And I went, yeah. So he judged this, like, this had to be his 50th call of some idiot
Very
kid.
judgmental.
Yeah, walking around town not used to dangers in the streets.
He's like, all these murders have been picking up since Pokemon Go, damn it.
Because up till that point, I was like, murder's not real, especially in small town America. And then and then week 1 of Pokemon Go, I went, ooh, it's scary out here.
I mean, it was probably a good time for serial killers. They're like people out at 3 a.m. catching rare Pokemon. Perfect.
And they're not the most athletic. Like, they're already out of breath getting a Pikachu a few blocks away. Yeah, I did a lot of... Yeah, everyone was dumb with that first year of Pokemon Go. Now everyone's figured it out. I still play it, like, periodically. But I was in people's backyards loosely, going to, like, abandoned hospitals because they had the ghost Pokemon. And I would just look at the phone and I'd be like, there he is. And I look up and be like, I don't know where the fuck I am if something bad happens.
That was like the closest we've been to like world peace.
Yes.
Aside from like all the trespassing.
Because it was pre-Harambe, it was pre like that twist in like meme culture. It was 2015, 2016 was, most people agree, like we were as close as we were gonna get to peace.
In either a really funny way or a dystopian way, I remember going to the local zoo during their Pokemon Go day. And I was riding the train where they bring you past all the animal exhibits. And the train conductor, sounding the most miserable I've ever heard a human being in my life, was like, and on our left, there's been some Bulbasaurs today. And on our right, somebody saw a Pikachu. As we're passing these real animals doing real things, and he's just describing these fictional Pokemon, and he sounds so miserable that he's having to do this today, and I'm just sitting there. I didn't even have Pokemon Go on my phone because I had an old phone. I was just there to see the real animals.
Dude, the Black Mirrors are phones, man. The Black Mirrors, the phones. It was the phones all along. That's awful. That's so... But see, it was so dystopian, but in a good... Because there was all the old people that were like, look at all these people on their phones not interacting. And I was like, those people are only outside because of Pokemon Go. This is a huge step for them. They would not be out here interacting with people and like coordinating gym attacks without this game, I promise you. Because you would go to the stops and you go to historical markers and you'd read it and you'd flip it and you get your Pokeballs. I wish there was more AR games like that weren't just clones of that. I feel like it's such a good idea.
It was so weird because like my mom was really into it, and she would go to like a random area, and then she would do like the big bait that like lures like rare Pokemon to you, and then out of nowhere,
you'd see 30 nerds come out of the trees. Yeah.
People would literally start coming and parking and coming up to you, and I'm like, damn, we're literally luring people here. Like, we're trying to lure Pokemon, and we're luring real people to this random area.
Which is cool, but I bet criminals also utilize that. Because, there was times I'd be sitting at home on my couch, and it'd be like 2 miles from you, somebody put out a rare lure bait. And so then I would just be like, all right, guess I'm going to the park right now at 9:30 p.m. on a Monday. And then I would go there, and with strangers, we'd all be flicking there on the sidewalk trying to catch this giant, the like Giga Snorlax. It was a good time. Ooh, so we have the email, we have the comments. I have a personal message to deliver to you. So
okay,
we talked about Taylor, who you've met before. He was really mad that I insinuated he ate like shit. He was the one that I said he ate a bunch of Arby's and Monsters and then had a really upset stomach. He was upset about that. And so last night we're playing video games. He's listening to the podcast, and he so matter of fact goes, God, Teal's weird. He thinks it's odd to use the jean flap to pee. And I went, you freak! We've been looking for you. He didn't know they were real. And he went, you don't use the flap? And I went, no, I'm not a freak. And then he proceeded to debate me, and he was like, it's just so hard to undo your belt. And I went, it's got to be harder to undo your jean jagged zipper, then line up and make an eclipse with your underwear slit, and then go elbow deep through the holes, grab your snake, and then pull it out in public, and then go. And then you have to return it afterwards. You have to bunch it back up like a bungee cord.
I was gonna say it's like reeling back in a hose. It's the afterwards. You gotta watch out for the teeth on the sides. It's
Like, I get
It's
it
a
can be
lot of work.
annoying to have to fix your belt, but the solution isn't more effort like that. Like, just undo the belt, flop over, move on with your life. But since doing the podcast is why I like doing the podcast, the other 50%, 40% have revealed themselves. And they're mad. They're mad that we insinuated that they're weirdos. But I need them to know they're weirdos. You shouldn't be doing that. You're solving nothing. So yeah, Taylor was pretty thrown off by you not using the flap option.
That's crazy.
Oh my god, that is all of my notes, and you brought Plumber. Let me double check the What Are My Options email real quick, see if there's any hot things coming in off the presses.
Are we saving them for next week, or have you just deemed many of them unreadable?
Not many. Some of them are certainly just completely unusable. I'll go to this one. This is the person that has been running the What Are My Options TikTok to some great success. We've already got like 300 likes over there.
Yeah.
First of all, love the show. Second of all, I've been trying to refactor a compiler pass for a custom functional language where we enforce substructural typing constraints, linear and affine types, inside a non-idempotent modile category. Now, Trey, I know you've mentioned on air that you've once dabbled with parametric polymorphism under limited control operators, so you probably get where I'm coming from. But anyway, get this, okay? The bug only shows up when I hot swap the garbage collector while running the abstract machine on a graph with more than 2 layers of beta reduction sharing. Trey. Teal, how do you even begin to debug something like this? Is there a standard trick here, like continuation passing by simulation, or should I just start logging my type class dictionaries by hand? Thanks a lot. Loved the Wednesday meal video.
Bitch, I'd Google that.
What do you think? You put all of that into Google. What do you think comes up? It just says, "Go away, idiot."
You'd probably get a more concrete
It
answer.
responds with the shrug emoji. Fuck if I know, dog. So see, there's a lot of that, you know, on the Whammo hotline. Once again, that's TRE needs money 2015@gmail.com. Carson says, "What's your favorite bits you guys have done on stream? Can you reenact them for us? Also get a profile picture for this email. This is very unprofessional behavior from Carson." My favorite bit we've done on stream? That's a good question. I mean, we started strong with just bullying each other and me calling you disgusting to get this all started, but
My coworkers literally share that clip all the time.
it's a crazy clip. It might
Just the
be,
idea of person on the internet calling me disgusting.
I'm glad I'm no longer a person on the internet, but I'm glad we've come around now, because there was a time where I was just really mean to a stranger. And I was like, surely that's hyper edited and not what he looks like. And then I went, oh no, I didn't know we were farming me. I thought they had done some crazy stuff. It might be when we played It Takes Two and we killed the elephant. That was one of the hardest laughs. That, or when we played Chained Together with Brewhouse. That physically hurt me.
Trolled them the whole time.
Because he was getting so mad, and then you were playing the heal to him, and I had an option. I was like, I could either also try to get this game done, or I could join Teal down in the slop. And I chose the slop, and I like to think I never went back. There's some really good clip, but yeah, either the It Takes Two elephant murder we did, where we just did terrible, terrible things, or we played Chained Together. All right, last question. Greetings and salutations. Long-time listener, first-time emailer. I come to you with a hypothetical. What if there were 2 guys on the moon, and one of them killed the other with a rock? Would that be fucked up or what? What are my options? Thank you, sincerely, Jester.
Well, there's 2 options, yes or no.
Right.
If there were 2 guys on the moon, one killed the other with a rock. That's pretty messed up.
It's messed up, but like, can you blame him? Because if you flew on a rocket ship all the way to the moon with a man capable with the will and skill to kill you in space with a rock, I think it says more about you than it does him.
Okay, I could see where he's coming from, because imagine in the history books for the rest of all time being known as the first person to kill somebody on the moon.
Yeah. And do you think
That's
there's
kind
a
of
world
badass.
where he throws the rock, it goes past the astronaut, misses, he goes whoopsie, and then that astronaut gets a podcast and he goes, "Hey, I had this story of a time I was almost murdered, I think."
The ride back was so awkward.
I'm still not sure if he was aiming for me, but boy was it close. That's another. I also have a fear of being on the moon suddenly. I have constant nightmares where I wake up and I'm on the moon and I go, "Don't move because there's no gravity, idiot," which is not true. But in my dream, I'm an idiot. And then I'll be like, okay, I'll sit up. And then the inertia from me sitting up, I start floating away from the moon into empty space. And then I panic and I scream and then I wake up in a sweat. I don't know what that means, but it's my most recurring dream.
I just love the difference between I have a fear of being on the moon and I have a fear of being on the moon suddenly. Like, I blink and I'm like, ah, shit, I'm on the moon.
Yeah, because you can't breathe, man. Like if I'm on a rocket ship, I go to the moon, I'm in the spacesuit, I'm fine. But if somebody just snapped their fingers and teleported me to the moon, I'd be really upset.
Like a higher being every 100 years just picks a random person and goes, boop, moon, just to see how they'd react.
Dude, it's terrible. People are like, it's fun to jump on the moon. No, it's not. You might not come back down. So stop jumping on the moon, people that are on the moon.
I got the similar fear where, like, what if the atmosphere just, like, one day just, like, dissipates and then all of us just zoop up into space?
Do you think the atmosphere is gravity?
I have a big fear one day that gravity one day is just gonna zoop and then we're all gonna
there you go. I was gonna
space.
say, if the atmosphere disappears, we would choke, but we wouldn't fly away suddenly. That's not what the atmosphere's job is. My fear is that the Earth decides to stop spinning just instantly, which would then mean the atmosphere keeps spinning at that same rate, and then we all just get, like, dusted. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Yeah. Because it's all spinning basically at the same rate. So if the Earth stops, that atmosphere. I watched some. Did you ever watch that? It was on Discovery Channel. It was Life After Humans. Dude, that scared me. Because, like, what if I'm there even though it's after humans? I would watch that as a kid in terror. And I was like, what? And they'd be like, after 3 weeks, your dog would be dead. And I was like, man, that sucks. Not my dog. And then they were like, after 6 months, Yankee Stadium would be unrecognizable. And I was like, well, that's fine. I mean, probably. I don't give a shit.
After the dog, I don't care anymore.
And then they'd be like, 470 years later, the Hoover Dam would explode. And I went, oh, fuck. Again, that was most of my childhood. And then you'd put on the History Channel and they'd be like, the sun, average lifespan is 10 billion years. It's currently at 5 billion years, which means in 5 billion years, the sun will explode, eating the entire galaxy and the Earth. And I went, oh, shit. Oh, man, no. I'm going to be here. Like, I had all these existential crises of the solar system getting obliterated. They were like, this black hole in a billion years will do this. This sun in a trillion years will do this. Eventually, the Andromeda galaxy will intersect with us. And other kids were afraid of quicksand. I was afraid of Andromeda galaxy colliding with us in 2 billion years. That was my main worry.
Eventually, medicine gets so good that we just stop aging, and we're like, well, now I got to worry about this.
Yeah, then you can worry about it. We're not. Yeah, that's why
2 billion years from now, that's gonna suck.
That's why if I die of sudden electricity, I think leave the body, because like if you get cremated, that's it. You're dusted. But like at some point, you're telling me not in the next 10,000 years somebody can't stumble on my body and be like, let's give them the revival juice. But you can't have the revival juice if you're dust.
You think that if we invent revival juice, that instead of bringing back, like, all of the great minds of the world, we're gonna just, like, go into random graveyards and start booping everybody and being like, welcome back?
Yeah, that would just be a population crisis. They just quadruple the population suddenly. I mean, but if we have revival juice, I feel like we've got other planets, and they need workers, and so they'll revive you, kinda. And they'll say, hey, if you go join the Mars outpost, we'll keep you alive. Otherwise, no more revival juice.
Imagine being dead and enjoying some form of amazing afterlife, and then zip zoop, you come back, and they're like, all right, you're getting back to work.
I mean,
brought you back to work.
If you If you have all the money in the world, what is your ideal send-off? I like the tree compost thing, because that's like Buddhism kind of. It's just like actual reincarnation.
Everybody always like says I don't want to be worm food, but I think that's wholesome.
Yeah.
That I'm like a golden corral buffet for a bunch of worms. Just
circle
make
of life.
their night. Yeah.
That's yeah, there's my only other issue with so many options, like, because where cremation is good is you can't be messed with, but like so many kids suck, and they're either robbing graves or when they do like cadaver classes at colleges, like I don't trust that all those kids aren't being weird around my naked dead body. Like one of them's gonna be like, he's dead, but he did have a small dick, right? And that upsets me, even though I know I'm dead. I'm already pissed off about that. I don't want to be Ash, but I also don't want to be anywhere where anybody can like touch me. I want to be in a safety deposit box, I think. Just waiting for the revival juice. That's my idea. Like I have such a fear of being judged while dead and naked.
Yeah.
God. Well, that is this week's podcast. Last week was Butts and Bibles. I think this week is Fears and Plumbers.
Oh.
Or something like that. I might think of something better when I'm editing it. But glad you guys are liking the bonus YouTube videos. The Wednesday Meal Meat Mountain video just came out. And it's actually like tracking really good. It's already about to be our #1 most viewed video, even though it's been up for the least amount of time. So people who are not in our community are watching that video, and they might see this. So thank you. And I hope you enjoyed getting to know us a little bit better. I've been Trey.
I've been Teal Hollow 1.
And thank you for watching.
Kyle. Whammo!
Whammo! Thanks for watching the What Are My Options podcast. Every Friday, bonus video every Monday. Thank you guys again. And goodbye.
See ya.
Yeah.